Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio, and it's Saturday at noon. Time to come on and do something fun with you all. Let me see, let me go down here to my computer and pull this up. Oops, let me hit that button real quick before it starts talking. Anyway, I wanted to get that turned on there so that I could see you when you get here. When you hop on, I'd love it if you would just give me a comment, tell me where you're from, where you're watching from, something like that. I would really appreciate it. I do appreciate you being here with me today. We're going to be using some oil pastels. I think I might have mentioned beforehand that it was going to be soft pastels, which it isn't. That's chalks. Oil pastels are slightly different than a soft pastel. A soft pastel is a chalk. An oil pastel is basically oil paint condensed down into a crayon type form that you just use in different ways. Now, a lot of people will use like pieces of paper towel to rub the oil pastel once they put it onto the paper. I usually use baby oil. It makes a very quick process of it, and it makes it much easier to blend the oil pastels. But you have to make sure that you're not using very much of it, that you're using just a small amount. And a lot of times I will use Q-tips, as you can see by some of them that are laying around here. I use the Q-tips to blend the oil pastels too. That makes it easy, but you don't have to. You can just use a piece of paper towel. That works perfectly fine also. Okay, so today what I was thinking about doing was making a little cityscape, a little nighttime scene, and for that I'm also going to use a white correction pen. Now the white correction pen that I use is a Pen Touch. I know that's backwards, but it's a Pen Touch pen, and it's a white correction pen. Now I also have my Craft Smart acrylic paint pen. You can use any brand, it doesn't matter. I just happen to have that. And if you're going to do this along with me, you're going to want to have a ruler. That just makes your little building straighter. You don't have to have a ruler if you don't want one. You can just draw straight lines on your own. I'm just going to use the ruler because I just think it makes it look better. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to tilt you down and we're going to get started making this. Here we go. There, now that looks like, let me look over here and see how well that shows up or if I need to adjust you some there. Now that looks pretty good, doesn't it? That does look pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start out with a very light blue in the bottom portion down here. And this is pale blue. And I'm going to put the pale blue down here at the bottom. And as you can see, I've already taped my paper down. And if you're interested in what kind of paper am I using, once again, it's my watercolor paper. It's a watercolor 144-pound paper. Just regular watercolor paper. I buy the pads from Michael's. I happen to cut this one in half. So this is just a half a sheet of the watercolor paper. So I'm going to go about that high with the light blue. And as you can see, it's just like a crayon. And you can see that it doesn't look like it's covering very well at that point, right? It's kind of, I don't know, scratchy kind of looking. You can take your time and try to fill in all these little spots, but you don't have to do that. That's what we're going to be using the blending methods for. Now we're going to go with just a slightly darker, well, it's going to be a little bit darker, cobalt. We're going to use our cobalt blue here. And we're going to go, about another possible, well, it's more than a third, and it's not quite a fourth. We're higher than a fourth, so just, we're just going so far up on the page. How about that? We're just going to put it that way. We're going so far up, just about so far up, about the same height that was. We're going to put that right there. Now we're going to move into an even darker blue, which is almost a kind of purple. This is ultramarine. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know that it is going to be darker. That's sort of a lighter looking blue to me. What was this one? Prussian blue. I'm looking at all of them in here. Some of them I haven't even used yet. Prussian blue light. Yeah, we're going to go with the Prussian blue. We're going to go right over top of that where I put that on and just make it even darker here. I want it to be a dark, dark blue up here at the top. And then when I get about, oh, this far up right here, I'm going to stop with the blues. Let me put these guys up. And I'm going to go ahead and blend. And then I'm going to add a little black to the top. Now, if you want to know how does it work with the blending if you're just using the paper towel? Well, basically it's the same thing as what we do when we're using the baby oil. You're just going to rub harder. So see how it blends? Now I know that shakes the camera quite a bit when I'm blending that way. And that's another reason why I generally don't do it with this method. I find it's harder to blend this way too. Okay? And all it does is it just rubs off real easy like that. It's not a problem at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to use this paper towel and just a little bit of the baby oil. Okay. And now I'm very lightly rubbing. And I do mean very lightly rubbing. I'm not rubbing hard at all. And look at the blend that I'm getting here. The one thing you don't want to do, though, is just like saturate your piece of paper, because then it will take it a long time to end up working properly. Okay, so you want to use enough oil to blend with, but not so much oil that it just saturates the paper. So I'm just going to rub this here, this blue together. I'm going to blend these two together a little bit, just rubbing right into it. See how it's blending it together right there? I'm going to keep moving up, taking it around in circles, making small circles with the oil pastel. Blending these two together here. This has got that little bit of Prussian blue here. All right, and then we're going to work our way up into this one. Now I feel like I need a little more oil, but I'm just going to keep working it here and see if I can't, maybe it might, I have to rub a little harder now. I'm blending this all in. Oh, get me just a touch more oil, just to make it a little bit easier to blend it right here. And I'm going to carry this blue right on up into the top here. I'm going to try to blend it all real good, bring it along the edges. And then I'm going to get my black. Put it right here on top of this, right at the top. I'm going to mix in some of the black. Have you guys seen my ad? I'm paying for an ad right now, and I haven't seen it myself anywhere. I'm hoping that others are seeing it. I've got an ad out for the Vacation Bible School that's happening every Wednesday at 8 during the month of July. And in the ad, you will find the information on, well, the information's simple. All you got to do is just join me every Wednesday each week. I put up the template for the upcoming week. For the following, on Wednesday night, I tell the story. There's a template that's made available for you. All you have to do is print that template out and be ready at 8 o'clock. Show up at the page, and I'll start telling the story and painting with you, and we'll paint it together, color it in, whatever you want to do. You can use your markers, you can use your crayons, you can use anything you want to color it in. I'm just providing you with the template that goes along with the corresponding story for the Wednesday night. And you can just meet me there and use whatever you want. You can print out as many of them as you want. Share them with your friends. In fact, I'd love for you to do that. That'd be great. but it's free. It costs absolutely nothing, and it's every Wednesday during the month of July at 8 p.m. Now, this Wednesday coming up, we're going to tell the story of Ruth and Naomi, which is a really interesting story if you've not heard that. And next Wednesday, last week, we told the story of three faithful men, which was Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. And those are three men that get thrown into a fiery furnace. So if you haven't heard that story, you might want to go back and watch that video. It's really interesting. Okay, I'm going to put the oil up now. Next week, we're going to talk about Samson and Delilah, and that's going to be great too. This coming Wednesday is going to be Ruth and Naomi, and then it'll be followed by Samson and Delilah, and the last week's going to be Queen Esther, and I think you'll really enjoy that story. That's going to be a really good story also. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to get a pencil. And I'll just use this pencil right here since it's sitting right here. And I'm going to just, well, that ruler's got a crack right there on that edge. I don't want to use an edge that's cracked because that would just be defeating the purpose, wouldn't it? Well, it does have a cracked edge here too. It's kind of a beat up ruler. I guess I actually have had this ruler a long time. Okay, we'll put it about right to there. And then we'll move it over just a little bit, and we'll make a little bit of a shorter building. Maybe just right about here. And then we'll bring it over, and let's make it a little further out. And let's make this building a taller building, and we'll make it just a little bit wider than the last two buildings. Let's bring it right up to there. And then we'll put another building right over here. And let's make this building about as tall as that building over there. Just somewhere around. It doesn't have to be exact. Somewhere around there. Okay, so now we've got the outlines for our buildings. Okay, so this one we're just going to take this right across and bring that up. This building, I'm going to take it just a little bit higher on this side. Bring this across right here and give it one of those rooftop exits up here on the roof. You know what I mean? They got that area where you come out on the roof. That little building, the door's right over here on the side. So there we got that one. This one, this tall building, we're just going to make it go right across right here. And then we're going to make another little area right here that's not quite as wide. And another little area right here. And then we'll make a little, just draw it. A little pointy top right there on it. How about like that? Just something like that. And we'll just bring these. Make that building look like that. And then this one here, we'll have it just go across and then have a little penthouse sticking up on the top of it. It just goes across just like that. Okay? Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my art pencils. And you think to yourself, now what are these numbers and stuff on the side of an art pencil? You can find them that say HB. This one says 4B. Let me see, what does this one say? Well, that's just another HB. Here's a 4H, a 4B, and an HB. What do those things mean? I know a lot of people wonder, what exactly does that mean? What is the 4? What is the H? What is the B? And why does this one have HB? What's the difference? Okay, well, the H stands for hardness. And the B, that's how hard the lead is, the hard lead. And the B stands for blackness or softness. It's more like a charcoal. Okay, this is more like a charcoal. So the B is for the blackness, the darkness of it. Now an HB is right in the middle of the road. So it's sort of in between hard and dark black. So really the HB could best be described as what we've always used, the number 2 pencil. That is your HB pencil. Sort of your middle of the road pencil. So now we know what is the difference with the H, what is the difference with the B. Okay, well, how come some of them are like 6B, 4B? What we got here? Here's a 2B. What difference does it make if it's a 2, a 4, or a 6? Well, the higher the number, the darker the mark. So if you want it to be a very dark black, this 6B would probably be the best choice here. So what's the difference? Softness. Using this is very easily blurred. You can blend real easy with the higher number. It's less blendable with the lower numbers, but they're all blendable, okay? So I'm going to use the 6B. I want dark blackness here. So I'm going to use the 6B, and I'm going to fill this in. And you can see how quickly it colors it in. And I'm going to get a little careful here because I don't want to get too carried away just coloring away while I'm talking with you. It's a very soft pencil. It's almost like a charcoal. And the number 6 makes it dark. It's a very dark charcoal. And very blendable. Don't get too carried away, Janet. I'll be going out of the lines in a minute. Now, in very few places are you going to find big gaps like this in between the buildings, right? So, we're going to do a little something with that, too. We're just going to make a line that goes right here between these two. Fill that in. There we go. Gave that building a little bit of a different character to it. Excuse me. I probably should have started over here. My hand drags, so if we're talking about blendability, I probably shouldn't have my hand to where it's going to be dragging on this. So let's go over to this side, and I'm going to put this paper in between me and what I just colored in because my hand will rub all over what I just colored. I'm left-handed. I know to you guys it appears that I look right-handed, but that's because my camera doesn't have that mirror image ability that I can use to show you, so you see it backwards. That's why I don't do a lot of lettering in my crafts with you guys, because it's always backwards to you, unless of course I create it backwards for myself. And if I'm creating something that's backwards, well, then that makes it a little hard to sell. I don't have much use for keeping them. They look great on camera, but they're kind of useless after the fact, so I try to avoid lettering, and if I do, I just do it facing in the right direction for me, and then post a picture after the fact so that you guys can actually see what it looks like, because I know that the lettering looks backwards to you as you watch me paint. got like a little burr on it. I can feel it. Rub it off to the side. Yeah, that's better. I was thinking it's getting scratchy on there. I can feel it. Isn't that weird? I'm scooting to the 4, guys. I don't like what that one's doing. It's got like a little burr inside of it that's wanting to scratch through, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to avoid it and move over to the number 4. And that's okay. As you can see, it is equally black and very dark looking. It does a nice smooth color, and it will actually be a little less likely to blend or blur. In this part of the picture, I don't particularly want it to blur. But it doesn't color quite as, it takes a little more pressure. And I'm trying not to press because I got that other one under my hand. I wonder if we got an 8H over here. I mean, 8B. Another 4B. See how he colors. This is the exact same thing. He's sharper. He's got more lead on him. More lead showing. I still like the other one better. I wonder why it's doing that. What's in there that's making it scratch like that? Maybe if I don't press as hard, I can get a better background filled in. Don't worry, I'm not too worried about that either. Just getting that filled in, sort of. Maybe if I use it on the side, that would work a little better. Let's see about that. Yeah. Using it from the side seems to work just a little bit better. Why, there's Coco. Come upstairs to see what's going on. Alright, we're going to fill this in real quick right here. Now, you know, guys, I learned something new today. I did something different today, too. Did you know that these things are refillable? I didn't know that. I watched a video and learned how to refill it with my paint. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. All you have to do is they come apart, actually. And, well, you know, really, why don't I do a tutorial on that one day? I'll show you how to actually refill your paint pens with your own paint. Just as long as the nib on the end of it's still good, you don't really have to worry about it. You can just refill it with paint. Water your paint down just a little bit to where the paint's thinner, because this is a thinner type paint than what you would normally be using to paint with. But you definitely can refill those things. I thought that was really cool. How many of those have I thrown away and replaced? I didn't even realize. There's your tip of the day. You can actually refill your paint pens. Okay, this is still trying to scratch. I don't know. There's like a little... This is not a very... Well, I'm going to have to sharpen it again or something. There's something going on with that. It's got like a little scratch in it or something. It's making like a scratch on the paper. Maybe if I don't press as hard. Press lightly. Okay. Fill this in. And then we're going to use the correction pen Well, actually, I think I'm going to use the acrylic paint pen first. There, that's looking darker. That's better, better, better. Got past that spot. Whatever it was doing there. Okay, let's get this. Just about filled in here. There we go. Now we got that filled in. And let's make this going like at an angle right here between these two buildings. We'll just fill that in between you two. Yeah, about like that. And then we'll have another, like maybe only down here at the bottom. About like that. See, you can see how my hand even blended right in there in between it. See how soft that charcoal, that B, the blackness, that's the dark color, but it's also softer. That's why the H is for hard, so that it doesn't smear as easy. It's not as easily smeared or blurred. But that's okay. We're going to just keep working with this. We're going to make this one about there. It doesn't have to be that high. I guess I could make it about to here since that's where I've smeared it to. I'll just fill this in. And so you can see I smeared it right there too. Let's see if I can rub it off. No, more likely I would rub it in is more likely what would happen here. We'll just make this one go across right there. We don't need all that light in the background anyway. It's a dark night scene. So we'll just fill this in. This could actually even be a building in the front of the other two. It all depends on how you put your windows in. Will determine where the buildings start and where the buildings stop. Actually, okay. I'll try to make that a little straighter right there. There we go. Now we've got the city there all ready. And we're done with our pencils. We can go ahead and put those up. Now the next thing, yep, put these up too. Next thing I want to do is wipe off my hand, get that pencil off of me. Okay. Then we're going to take this, shake it up real good. And we're going to make some windows on it here. Let's just make a 3 windows up here. Couple of windows there. And as you can see, I'm just drawing some white lines to represent where the windows might be on the building. And then if I need more, if it's getting too dirty on the tip, I just take it and rub it off to the side here somewhere on my backup paper. Here, let's put some over on this window, or this place. This place is going to have a, this is the penthouse, so it's got a bigger picture window here. And then a little window and another little window. So there's the penthouse up there. And we'll make 3 of them on that floor. You don't have to light every window. Some of the windows on some of the floors can just be darkened. Just like that, you know, it doesn't have to be every window at all. And then wipe off that dark on the tip. You want to try to keep your tip as white as you possibly can. I'm going to bring this back over here so that I don't get smeary. Okay, and we'll put one here and one here, one here, one here, put one down there, put one in this little side building, clean that off, and if I need more paint to come out of it, if it's getting to where it's running out of the white, then all I need to do is press down and bring more of the paint down because I put all that fresh paint in there today. Now it's pretty and white again. Okay, there's that building. Let's go back and work on this one a little bit more. And say he's got you want to try to keep them kind of uniform. They don't have to be exact. Now, like we said, he's going to make this another building down here in the front that sticks out in front of these guys. So let's go to where he is and establish an outline for him. Wipe this dirt off. You got to make sure you try to keep a clean tip. And I just kind of twist it back and forth with my hand as I'm wiping it, sort of at a figure 8, actually. And then press it down to bring down more fresh white. Shake it down. There we go. Pull off that dirt off the tip. Okay, so this place is going to be this wide right here. So this floor will have 3. And we'll do 2, and then we'll do 5 of them across down here, and do 2 taller windows in this area. How's that? Something like that. I'm just shaking it some more and pressing it some more. There, trying to get that flow established again. There we go. Okay, and then we'll make some. So there's this building out here all by itself. And now we'll go back to this building. And I'm trying to clean off the tip. Now this one's got 3, 6, 7 across. So right here we'll make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 7 on that floor will be lit up. That's getting really dark on there. That chart, that pencil, as it's so easily blended, is rubbing itself all over my pen. But I should have known that. But that just means I got to press more of the white paint down through there. There we go. Make them show up a little better. Put that window there too. I don't want to use my correction pen on this, I don't think. I'm telling you, that's making that a mess. You can literally pull the tips out right out of it, just like that. And I may need to add a little more water to it. I may not have thinned it down enough, because it seems to be having an issue coming down. Let me see. We'll see what we'll do. I'll show you how you open it. You twist off the cap right here. Leave your tip in it. Twist off the cap. See how the tip's sticking out right there? Okay, now I'm going to take the tip out of here. This is where the little, when you shake it, you'll hear like that little ball inside. Put your tip with the pointy little end on it. Pointy end facing down. Right like that. Just sit it in the top of this. This piece right here, twist it off. Let me see if I can get it to come off. Now, I had it off before. I might have pushed it down too hard. Okay, so that's where it was getting stuck at, right in here. See this little thing in here? Let me put that back down on there. That's 2 pieces. And you pull the whole mechanism out. See it right there? And you add your water and your paint right inside of there. But now you want to make sure that your paint is not thick. And I might have mine just a wee bit thick, so I'm going to just pour a little out and pour just a little bit more water in, just a smidge. I'm using bottled water. I'm going to pour just a smidge of water in there. Ooh, that wasn't a smidge. Oh well. Good thing I was holding it on top of the paper towel. Okay. So see how I filled it up? That's a little high. Tilt that up. Okay, so then we're going to put this piece back down in here. You'll see it's going to overflow because I've overfilled it. I'm going to hold that underneath it. As always, I'll show you, but I'm going to make a mess while I do it. I'm just going to press this right down on there. There we go. Wipe it off. Take the nib. Put the pointy end down in here. Push it over top of it. Screw that back on there. You might want to shake it up just a little. And then the flow will get to going. Now I might have it awfully thin right now. It might need to be shook up a little bit more. Hi, Jim. Hi, Steve. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm over here making a mess as usual. Let's see what it's going to do. Is it going to be white or is it going to be water? I might have watered it too much. There we go. Now it's working. Now I think it's working. No, I guess it doesn't want to work. Maybe I did mess it up. I can see it all down in there. I wonder if it's too thick on the inside of that little barrel area. Well, I can't keep spending time playing with that thing, so we're going to get the correction pen out. Give it a shake. Here we go. We'll just make a couple there, and we'll make 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. Here, let's light these up a little better. That correction pen's very white. That looks a lot better, I think. Well, maybe don't try that with your pen. I'm going to have to work on that and see what happened and why that isn't coming through right. So don't do what I did until I figure it out, and then I'll let you know. Let's put a window. Maybe one there and one here and maybe one right below it. Couple in that area, and we'll have one in here, and then we'll put 3 of them here, 2 of them there, 1 here, 3, 1, 2, we'll put 1 of them over here, and 1 down there, and maybe 1 up here. Well, my windows are getting taller as I go down the building. Not doing a very good job of keeping my windows uniform. There, that's good enough. In my opinion, anyway. That looks good enough to me, anyhow. Okay, so now we've got that part of it done. Now we need to work on the sky just a little bit. So I'm going to take my white, and I'm just going to, let's see, do I have something that would be circular for me? Well, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to draw the round circle of the moon this way. Take my finger and we'll blend it in. Knock a little of that off the edge of my white. Get it back to looking white again. Because just sort of like how that pen was, you got to get that off of there. Put another layer of white in here. Blend that in just a little, not too much. I don't want to keep blending or it never becomes white. And I'm just going off to the side now and just trying to rub the blue off of the tip of my oil pastel and then coming back with the white. See how the blue gets back on there? I'm going back off to the side, rubbing off the blue, coming back in with the white. There now. Now we've got ourselves a little moon in the background there. That looks good. Gonna leave that alone. And then we're going to take our white correction pen. Oh no! The whole tip fell right out of it. Did you see that? We're going to just blot that up. And look what I'm doing there, guys. Just using that paper towel. Ah, ta-da! As I always say, there are no mistakes. You don't make a mistake. Blend that right off of there. Don't even worry about it. Now, don't be jumping and dumping your daggone tibs and nibs out. Stay in there, pen. Jeez, first time I've had it do that. And as you can see, I'm telling you, you never know what's going to happen here. When you're live on Facebook, anything can happen. I'm just using the correction pen now to add a couple of little stars to my night sky. You know, where is that pencil? No, not you. Let's draw a little thing that goes right up like this over here on this building. And let's take bring it just like that over there. Make it like a little stringed area there at the top of that place. They're having a little party at that spot. Here, we could even give it a little umbrella on that roof so you could think there's a little table underneath the umbrella, just like that. Little party on the roof at this place. There we go. All right. I think that's all we need to do to it. I think it looks pretty good right there. I'm going to leave it go at this point. I like how it looks. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Going to peel off the outside and do the big reveal. Ah, ta-da! Try not to touch it with my dirty hands. That's always a challenge here. All right, guys. There we have it. The City in the Night, using our oil pastels. Sticking to me. I do hope that you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, Carol, I appreciate you being here, too. I just saw that you had joined us. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. That was pretty easy. It took me about 40 minutes, I guess, but it really shouldn't have. I was trying to show you what to do with that pen. Don't do that. Let me work on that and figure out why that didn't exactly work. Because I watched the video and they did it and it worked out fine. And at first I thought it was working, but something's not quite right. Maybe I didn't add enough water. Maybe I don't have it shake. I haven't shaken it enough. I'm not really sure. Maybe there's too much in there and no room for shaking. I got to go in and check it out. But anyway, here's the cityscape at night. I hope you guys like that. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that also. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you again. Bye. Don't forget to join me on Wednesday for Vacation Bible School. We'll be doing Ruth and Naomi. Bye.